And we're live. Welcome back to the Underwater Tribe studio. Today we have the Jetlagged with us, Claudia and Hendrik. Welcome to the Underwater Tribe podcast. Thanks for stopping by today. Thanks for coming back to Bali. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves? You know, where you're from, who you are, and what the Jetlagged does.
Well, as you said, we are the Jetlagged, so we are always tired and have no idea where we are. So, hello, Sydney. We're filmmakers, underwater filmmakers actually. Well, first of all, we're divers, so passionate about the ocean and the underwater world. And since almost 7 years, we are shooting films for everyone else who actually cannot dive and can't see what's so wonderful down there. And so, we started.
Yeah, we live in Germany, so that's pretty far from any tropical ocean, but we actually learned diving in the Baltic Sea.
Cold.
It was cold,
very cold,
dark, green, full of jellyfish, the non-stinging ones though, but we thought, well, if we learn it, we're going to learn it the proper way. We haven't been diving much in Germany since, maybe sometimes in the lake, but our passion for the ocean just, drove us to travel to all sorts of exotic places, and not only the tropics, we also go diving in Iceland.
Did the passion kicked in right away since you entered in that freezing water?
Actually, even before that, you know, I was in love with the ocean as long as I can remember. I don't have a specific event that sparked my love for the sea and its creatures, but I actually wanted to become a marine biologist when I was a teenager. And then I got into Greenpeace a little bit, and then Sea Shepherd, and actually I think that was the moment when I, for myself, decided somehow I want to protect the oceans and kind of...
When you realize that being a marine biologist ends up being a dive instructor. That's what most of them end up doing, no?
Yeah, I didn't do it then, because in Germany it means you study worms.
Yeah. Actually, it's a very similar story to mine. Same, I wanted to study biology marine and everything. I did a little bit of research about how I would end up as a biologist, and then I found out that most of people are actually not working in the sector. If they are lucky, they're going to study about worms and things. Otherwise, they're going to do completely different job. So I decided to jump right into the diving. And when was the first time that you came over here to Indonesia?
Well, actually, it went really quick. I think the first diving holiday we did was in the Caribbean, and afterwards we decided let's check out Bali. And in those days we actually said we will never go to one place twice. That was a big lie.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That didn't work out really well. So we actually made a road trip around Bali. And as far as I can remember, we also just started doing the first film about that.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Bali was
How
the
many
first.
times have you been to Bali now then?
I don't remember.
Maybe 20 times.
Okay, so yeah,
or
so
three
much for
times a
that promise.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful here. Wonderful Indonesia.
Yeah, wonderful marine life, lots of great stories to tell, what is especially interesting for us as filmmakers.
And we still have good worms too. So that's
Yeah.
And speaking of filming, how long was it, how long were you guys divers before you started taking videos? And, how long was it before you decided, instead of just taking, the odd home video or the vacation video, before you decided to make real, solid, documentary pieces?
Yeah, I'm doing films since school. Actually, I never did anything else. So I'm a director, doing commercials and music videos most of the time. And then we started diving, and we really thought, that's pretty cool. You can enjoy and have a relaxed time. And then I thought, why not bring a camera down there? So all that relaxation was over, and job started again. And so we had tons of material.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's like a shark in the Red Sea, and let's get all our friends together and put them in a room on a projector and show them our wonderful dive experiences. And after 3 hours of filming, it was like being back at the Dia show with the granddad. Everyone was like, diving, cool. And so we thought that's too long. So our first idea was actually do small clips, like 30 seconds shark in Egypt or turtles in Bali, and just throw it out there, just put it on YouTube for people just to sitting in the office, go on YouTube, push the link, and just have 30 seconds of relaxation underwater.
Right.
And that was actually like the first stuff we did, and from there on it developed. Yeah.
Yeah, we did some more promotional videos for dive resorts, and also a music video with the dive school on Gili Trawangan, like an underwater music video, which is pretty
cool.
funny.
Yeah.
So I think we always wanted to do something a little bit different, and yeah, it just went on from there.
Did you guys both always do video, or did you dabble in photos before, or always just video?
I have a background in graphic design. I
Okay.
took some pictures just for fun, but actually Hendrik has the proper filmmaking background.
Yep.
And I learned a lot from Hendrik.
Right.
And especially then when we took cameras underwater, which is a completely new thing.
And what camera system are you guys using now? I don't mean the 360, but just your regular underwater camera.
The Panasonic Lumix GH5,
Okay. Nice.
which is a nice little thingy.
Both of you.
And of course, there's always a GoPro with us. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
never
right.
get the small ones. Yeah.
Okay.
With the Panasonic, it just came out recently, so you already know completely your way around it, or you're discovering things little by little, like, oh, it can also do this, can also do that.
Actually, Claudia brought a big book to this trip, and actually she's reading every night in it to learn everything about the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, it has so much potential, there's so much.
Yes, so much to unleash, exactly. Like we use the A7S II for lots of our underwater videography, and now we've been using it intensively for more than a year, and we still find out things like, okay, how to improve certain things, how to take advantage of the thousands of features that it's got. Cool. So is a camera that you would recommend to our audience if they want to get into filmmaking?
If they want to get into filmmaking, probably not, because it's probably too complicated. There are other cameras that are easier to just point and shoot, and you'll get a better result. With that camera, you kind of have to know what you're doing. Yeah.
So how long have you guys been, now making actual films? Before you said you used to do, YouTube clips and things for the internet, but now you're winning competitions, you're creating documentaries. How long would you say you've become more serious about your filming?
I would say probably 4 or 5 years. So our first documentary we shot in 2014.
Okay, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
So I just, when you travel so much, you see all these beautiful things, but you also discover all these great stories. Sometimes a bit sad stories about the issues that are going on in the ocean, but then you also meet so many people who are actually making a difference. And we found such a story on the Gili Islands in form of the Biorock reef restoration they are doing there, the coral reef restoration. Yep. And we were back home in Germany, and I remember I just had the spontaneous idea, come on, let's build such a Biorock and let's make a film about that, because it's such an amazing technology and not many people know about that. And it's a story of success too, how we can on a small scale make changes and help the environment. And yeah, that's what we did. We went to the Gillies afterwards, we filmed it, and then started submitting to film festivals and so on, and that was the first serious conservation film we did. Yeah.
So if I'm correct, you basically started filming it from the beginning, how they put it together and the process of how it was built, and then up to where the first fish came into it. And so this was back in 2014. Have you gone back each year to show the progress of it?
Actually, every 6 months.
Every 6 months. Huh?
It's a good reason.
Oh, let's go to Bali.
Yeah. Check out the reef. Yeah, it's like some people are planting a tree, but we are building a reef. It's like we built 3 of them already.
Okay.
So we try to come back and always like do something new. And it's funny because you can build them in every form. You can be really creative about it. So we built the first one, and it's actually fun because the fish are moving in directly.
Yeah.
You build that, you put it down. The first one like coming in forward, and they're like swimming back, like that's quite nice. Yeah, cool. Let's stay here. And so the development actually goes really fast. It grows like really fast. The corals are doing pretty good as long as the power is connected. Guys, if you don't know about it, check the little film on our
we will put the we'll put the link up there.
Yeah, nice.
You'll see it on there.
Yeah,
perfect.
there. And so we came back, and as I said, it's growing really fast, and it's like a lot of the reef is really destroyed on those coastlines. And if you put this reef in there, the fish are taking it over, the corals are taking it over, and you give them actually a habitat to actually grow. So you have a lot of juvenile fish who are living in there, and it's really fun to go back. We have like it was a small clam in the beginning. Now it's a giant clam.
Baby giant
Yeah,
clam.
yeah, exactly.
And it's always good to see it and go back.
And what kind of feedback are you guys getting from this? I mean, you sometimes you see on television people, oh, we're making our own artificial reef, but what you guys are doing, you're showing it from the beginning and how to build it, how to create it, especially with using the power source, especially with having the biorock kind of thing. Are people giving you good feedback and saying, hey, wow, thanks for showing us how to do that. This is now something we can do on our own.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the video it's not an instruction of how to build one yourself, because you always have to have someone on location who is doing the maintenance that's necessary. It's not much, but it has to be done constantly. So, but we know that the Gili Eco Trust, who are the ones building all the other biorocks there, and that they are in charge of that, they show it to everybody who goes there, who takes the biorock course, and also people have seen it on YouTube or Facebook. And they actually, we met people on the Gilis who told us, yeah, I'm actually here because of the film that I saw.
Okay,
and
that's cool. So you're actually having an effect.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's better than just having a like.
Thank you for mentioning it. Subscribe and like to our channel. We like the like too. So, no, yeah, definitely you make a change, you inspire people, and you inspire people to travel. Maybe you inspire an operator to actually build one of those and get in touch with the people that are doing this already and learn more about it. That's super.
And it's just one way. It's like a lot of people also say like, biorock, I don't know about it. Yeah, there are some issues, but we always say there are a lot of ways to actually restore reefs or help the reef. And we wouldn't say that's like the only way to do it. It's one way, and it's not a solution to save the coral reefs, but it can buy us time. That's, I think, really important.
And, it's not a small thing, but in a place like Gili that's had some damage in the past, it's nice to be able to do a project like this that helps out at least on a small scale.
And even the locals appreciate it. Yeah,
that's good.
They go snorkeling there, like, oh wow. Yeah.
And did you start your route and towards conservation with this project and developed it from there? Are you inclined more into the beauty of the underwater? Of course, probably you are, but also or you focus more now on conservation issues?
I think it has to be both, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Because we go down there, we see the beauty, we have these amazing encounters there and experiences there. But I think unless you go to some very rare places or very remote places, you really have to close both eyes to not see the issues.
Yes.
Like, for example, we were filming in Komodo and we were trying to get some good shots of the dragons, and it was not possible to get them on the beach without plastic on the beach.
Yeah.
So I think, we will still continue putting out just some short clips of amazing encounters and some fun videos. But with the documentaries, I think it's important to do both, to show the beauty, but also to show the fragility, show the issues, but then also give people solutions, like how they can be part of the solution, how they can help, save the ocean.
Yeah, we always try to find the positive story. It's always about try to find someone or a group of people who try to make a difference. And there are a lot of people out there who actually know that something is going on and try to change it on a small scale, but a lot of small hands will have a big impact.
True.
Correct. And the beauty will make them driving, and it gives you also the driving force, right? There is still the hope of doing things, and the issue is important to be shown, because what we need in this world, all of us, is actually a clear idea of what's going on. Because it seems that we live in a world in which we all are numb to nature. We just see that in television, we get an idea what it is, but we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, and that's very, very important to start to raise these issues. Thanks also today to today technology and the connectivity, social media. We've noticed, you've probably seen too, that image and impact can really awaken a lot of people and can make some changes, by connecting things. So it's really great that we have people like you that show this sort of impact to the world and things that we can do to improve and show the reality of things, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to know what's down there. You have to know what you want to protect. You have to start loving it, as Sylvia Earle always says.
And Jacques Cousteau.
And Jacques Cousteau
Yeah.
said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you quote?
I don't know the exact
You need a little
quote.
red toque on before you quote
Is it
Jacques.
you?
Yeah. But in the moment people know about the underwater world, they start to care, because if they have no idea what is going on down there, they have no. Why should they care?
Right.
Why should you care about something you don't know? And so it's a beautiful way to actually show people who don't have access to the ocean, or always had the dream of actually going to the ocean, but never did it. And then they see it, like on Facebook, you have a lot of underwater clips and films, and you see it, and you're like, why not do an open water course or a try dive next holiday, and just like see the corals myself. And the community is growing, so a lot of people are diving. And
it's something I think about when this connection that you're making just now. For instance, look, China. China is getting big into diving. I think is a great thing. Okay, many people are afraid. They say, "Oh my God, there are so many. They're gonna go in the water. Maybe they're not going to take good care or not." But I think, on the other hand, no. Now we see like many more Chinese concerned about shark finning. For instance, they eat less shark fin soup. Like we have Chinese people saying, "I don't want that on my wedding because I am a diver." And I love that. So you have all these people that they're starting to give that message. So there it is, the importance of learn about it and be a diver. For instance, you get to experience it in first place, and definitely you make a change.
yeah, you're definitely right. We know a lot of Chinese dive instructors and dive masters, and they do care. And of course, they also love the sharks. They love to see it like in the ocean, not in their soup, and they will instruct other Chinese people to fall in the same love in the end. And they were actually talking to us a lot. They came up like, it's so easy to raise your finger and say like, but we Chinese, we feel so bad, we are the bad guys. But they are definitely not. They're definitely not. And the word must be out there. And it's so easy for us Westerners to raise the finger and say like, you're like bad Chinese people eating shark fin soup. But they don't know. They don't know that they're like not much left in the end, and it's a traditional thing, and it was something that only the king was eating, and everyone wants to be the king right now. So but when they know and when they see how fragile it is in the end, they will start caring, definitely.
Yeah, we could go like really deep into it. Why we don't know? Why it's not transparent?
Well, it is.
But that's also the great mystery of it, that you cannot see it from the surface, and you have to go down there.
I love my chocolate bar made with palm oil,
That's where it starts. It's everywhere.
Yeah. And I think our films also, they are underwater films and related to the ocean, but for us it's also important to have the message that everything is connected. And also, if people don't go diving or don't like holidays or by the sea, it's still one blue planet, and everything is connected to the ocean. Even those people need a healthy ocean to be able to survive in the future generation.
As we're talking about conservation at the moment, you guys have a new film coming out, a conservation film about manta rays in Indonesia. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the film, where you got the inspiration for it, and who you're working with on the film?
Yeah, so right now it's actually a wonderful time because we are on a little film tour, which doesn't happen very often. So the film is called Patterns of the Ocean, and as you said, the topic is the manta ray sanctuary here in Indonesia and how every diver with a camera actually helped to set that up. So the premiere was in San Francisco on the International Ocean Film Festival there, and then went to ADEX and I think to Vancouver and
Russia, and USA, another screening there.
And you guys have gone to all of them?
No, we were here most of the time.
We actually tried to. We always try to, but it's actually hard to go there. But after ADEX, we went to Indonesia because we had a lot of people involved in that film and starring in that film, and we know they want to see. So we set up some locations, I think 8 screenings in the last 30 days, and always a big crowd, and showed the film and looked at the direct reaction, because when you like make a film over 2 years, it was shooting 1.5 years and then 6 months of editing, so a dark room just in front of a computer, you kind of lose like
lose touch with people.
So it's really good to actually like bring it out there and like put the child out there, close the door, and then it has to go on its
right
own.
yeah.
And what was the inspiration that drive you to go into such a movie, such a film?
It's actually quite an interesting story with the manta rays, because they have spot patterns on their bellies, and every diver who takes a picture, or a snorkeler even, of such a manta belly can upload that to online databases. And I don't remember where, but I heard about that story and I found it really, really, really interesting. And the first 2 mantas we ever identified were on the Maldives, like way back, before we even came to Indonesia. But then we went diving in Komodo, and we had amazing manta dives there and got a lot of ID shots, and also kind of got more into it. We learned more about the identification process and so on. And then actually we were in Indonesia when they made a quite big discovery, which was that mantas from Komodo and mantas from Bali, Nusa Penida, some of them were the same. So they saw one manta in Komodo and then they saw it again in Penida, only by comparing these pictures that were submitted to the database. From that on, that story just got us. We were so interested in finding more about that migration. And then the same year, the CITES meeting came up, Convention of International Trade of Endangered Species, and the manta rays were put onto that. And we were just about to go on another trip in Komodo when they were actually listed there. So it felt a bit like we were live on location when everything was and rolling and happening. And then we just met some great people who were involved with manta ray conservation here in Indonesia. One of them is Ellie Germanoff from the Marine Megafauna Foundation, and she took us on a field trip with her in Komodo, so it explained everything, like how it works, what she is actually researching, and she plays a large role in our film. And then, of course, Sarah Lewis from the Indonesian Manta Project, she's also in the film. She's telling us more about the legal aspects of getting the manta ray sanctuary established in Indonesia, and also about illegal fishing and how the Indonesian government tackled that, or is trying to limit that.
Ongoing
still
process,
ongoing, for sure. And Jomalo is also in the film, Misul Foundation, because they have a pretty good example of how a community that used to hunt mantas can transform and find new ways of making a livelihood in Lamakera. And then we have some dive operators in there as well. Gary Stokes from Sea Shepherd, who's telling us about the illegal trade of shark fins and manta ray gills into China. So lots of interesting people we got to interview. We were lucky to interview.
It's a 45-minute film.
It's a 45-minute film. So and it's again a positive story, because every one of us who actually encountered manta rays can upload those pictures and make a difference. Yeah. So
how to the people that they don't know how to do this process? So how can other divers come with the pictures and upload to the database? Where do they have to look?
They can go to mantamatcha.org. That's a global database for manta rays, and all they actually need is a photograph, or it can also be a still taken from a video of the manta underside of the manta belly, where you can see the spots. And you just go to that website. There is a button which says report an encounter, and there you can enter date, location, the time, that's also important, and then just upload the picture.
That's
and
cool.
the really cool,
easy, simple process.
It's super
Everybody
easy.
can do that.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, you will get an email back after a while, and they will either let you know, oh yeah, we know your manta, this is number so and so, or it's a new manta for science, which they always really appreciate because it adds a lot to their database. And then every time that manta is cited again, you will get an email.
That's
So,
very
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, this good thing, because then it just shows you it's there, and then it's there, and then it's there. So it shows you where,
Or it's
if it's
pregnant.
migrating or something.
Yeah, right. And if it's a new manta, you can adopt it and give it a name.
Nice.
So that is fun.
Yeah, it's super
Junior.
easy, and
Junior.
And you know how many people are out there in the water with cameras and are in the water
Yes.
with manta rays, so it really helps them a lot. I think they have about 20,000 encounter reports at the moment.
You guys just mentioned that you've been to a bunch of different places for filming, like Misu and Lamakera. How many different places do you actually go to do some filming?
Yeah, so the manta rays in that film were shot in Raja Ampat and in Komodo National Park. And also there's a shot from Gili Trawangan, so we were really lucky to see a manta ray there. That's
Nusa Penida is also in it. We have footage from Tanjung Lua Fish Market, but that's the
Okay.
dark side of
Right.
things. Yeah.
And did you also have a cooperation with other filmmakers and videographer helping you out with some to fill in the gap? Sometimes it's hard to get a whole film going from the positive aspects, so the beautiful manta and, for instance, Tanjung Lura, the fish market, to get footage in there. How did you manage that?
So we tried to make everything by ourselves.
But
But that,
Yeah.
like always, as you said, it's hard to fill in some gaps.
and also we're independent filmmakers, so we don't have a big production company in the
Budget.
background with a big budget. So
Yeah.
we filmed as much as we could ourselves, but we also know some other filmmakers, and we especially knew a couple of people who've been going to Tanjung Lua many times.
Okay.
One of them is Adrian Gittes from Saltwater Productions, and the other one is Steve Woods. And they kindly donated us some of their footage of the manta rays and the sharks that are being landed there and slaughtered every day, every single day. So we just didn't have the time and possibility to go there for a long time ourselves to get the pictures that we want, and we knew they're already out there. So
And
thanks at that point to...
It's a difficult thing to film, and I mean in two different ways. There's obviously emotionally, it's difficult to watch the slaughtering or film the slaughtering of a manta. We'll play some of that film here now, or maybe at the end of the podcast. But also, it's difficult to actually film. Those guys you were just mentioning, did they have to get special permits to go in and film the fish markets, or did they do it undercover? What special sort of things did they have to do in order to be able to film the slaughtering of the mantas?
It's like their job. Like
Okay.
those people are on this fish market every day. They're like for years doing this every day. For them, it's actually normal. They're like,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
their job. Yeah.
No, but for the filmmaker,
I mean, the filmmaker,
For the
yeah.
filmmakers, yeah, it's I mean, we
it's
are.
tough to get in there.
It's
Like,
yeah. Maybe it got harder, but I know Adrian. She's living here for 6 years, so
Okay.
she knows the culture and that you have to be
Speaks
respectful,
Bahasa.
and she speaks a bit Bahasa, and so she went in there not like putting the camera in
Right.
the faces of the people. Just like step back a little, came back every day, so they like was building up a
Being-
bit of trust.
Yeah,
Okay.
being very
Towards them.
polite with the people, not
And-
looking at them as if they are bad people.
Yeah, but she also told them the truth. Like
Right.
when they asked, like, what are you doing here? Why are you filming this? And she said, like, yeah, that hammerhead shark there. People would like spend $100 each day just to
To see
try to see it. Yeah, and you will get what, like $20 for that dead shark. And so she was always honest with them. And yeah, I don't think it's the way to actually go there with a hidden camera. That's that
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
work out.
yeah, definitely more difficult.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was also one of the reasons that we've never been to that place and then just showing up with a bunch of cameras and doing what people have done before. Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
really
it
feel so comfortable.
It could
about
potentially
it.
lead to some conflict. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're very thankful that we got that footage by Adrian
Yeah.
and Steve. Yeah.
Definitely.
And we're all colleagues in this. We all have to work together.
Yeah.
And so it must have been quite a mix of emotion to put together all this film, especially from a filmmaker point of view, when you spend that many hours editing and you go through those images, and so you go from pretty to interview and to very tough footage itself, it must have been hard. How long did it take you to, once you had all the material, to come to the final product?
Well, the final product was finished 2 days before the premiere, as it always is.
As always is.
Yeah. So you always find that one frame you don't like. Well, it was around 6 months of actually editing day by day. So for us, it's a night job. As we all know, when you're into editing, it's best time is at night. No one calls you. You can
Lots of coffee.
lots of coffee and go into it. Well, then you see this film for thousands of times. And as you're losing it at some point, so you have to step back. And I really enjoy that, working with Claudia on it. So she then can take it over. And
Yeah, fresh set of eyes.
Yeah, I will have my 6 days off, do something else, and then go back into it to see like how the drama should be in it. And yeah, it's fine. I mean, we want to. This film has to be emotional.
Yeah.
To work in the end. Yeah. So we have a lot of ups and downs, but I hope we take the audience on that journey and, well, give them something in the end. But everyone has to see that for himself. So everyone has an opinion, and it's hard to please everyone.
True. Now, how has the reaction been? What sort of feedback have you been getting, from the premiere? And you said you wanted to bring the film back to the people who are in it. What sort of feedback are you getting from them? Are they saying, oh, wow?
Yeah, luckily for us, the reactions were really good.
Yeah.
And we had a bit of an exciting moment at the premiere in San Francisco, because 2 days before we found out that Dr. Andrea Marshall, the queen of mantas and founder of the Marine Megafauna Foundation, wants to come to our premiere.
Okay.
That was when we got really
right.
excited. But she loved it. She
Great.
loved it, and she was really happy with it. Ellie is really happy with the film, and also that's the people who were involved and who know the scientific background of all the information in there. So they are really happy with our job, and the audiences so far liked it too. So
Great.
We had a couple of tears.
Always a good way to say.
Oh, believe me, that if we didn't know each other, I would have been the first one in tears. So if you need tears, call Luca.
But for us, it's also with all the film festivals, there are many talented filmmakers out there, and it's often not easy to get a film screened in public. So just having our film selected in some international film festivals, some really big festivals as well, that's also pretty exciting for us, and kind of shows us a bit that we did quite a good job.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully.
I mean, it's got to be. It's a big step to your project like that. Spend a lot of time editing, and by the time you get it out there, it's a big step to push your, as you said, your baby, put it out there to the public and see what they think. So right now, as you say, you're on the festival circuit. You're showing it at different places like that. But for the rest of us who haven't seen it, where can the general public see it? Will it be on your YouTube? Will it go under general release?
So my biggest plan actually is to put it on airplanes, because then people can, before they come into a country like Indonesia, where they can see manta rays, they can just learn about it. Yeah, and then you do this film festival tour to actually find distribution for it, and so people can access this in an easy way. And so that's mainly the plan right now, to find someone who actually wants to promote that film on an international scale.
Okay, perfect.
And plus, we have to say, as we were talking about the Chinese people, so we were also showing that film to some Chinese instructors and dive masters, and they said, they were really like, oh my God, yeah, they're selling the gills to China right now, and they were like, yeah, we didn't know about that, and it's really hard for actually people in China to access Facebook or YouTube, so they don't know. So right now we are going to translate that film in Bahasa, so Indonesia, and also in Chinese language, to actually show it there and bring it to the Chinese public, because they maybe don't know.
Right.
And the people who are selling those manta gills are telling them it's a cure against cancer. Mm-hmm. And if you have cancer, you will try everything. Of course you will. But if it's just like money making in the end, you also want to know. So, and they will not find it out when we Western people are actually just showing it between us.
Right.
Huge lucrative business. That's always there. But the problem is that.
But live mantas are worth much more.
Oh,
Much
of course.
more.
Yeah.
But not to that guy that trade.
That's right.
the mantas. Gills, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. They don't want to shift job, most probably. And what's next now in filming? So now you got awards. It's gonna go there. So you're on a high and enjoying the moment correctly, which is good. But then you need to keep going, right? You need to find the next thing. You cannot just sit in there and lose that train. So stay high.
So our style is actually always to put out the message. It's not about making a lot of money with the films. Actually, for us, it's important to bring those informations out to the people. So what's happening next is we shot a short film about turtle conservation, and also on Gili Trawangan. But it's an issue which is everywhere on this world where turtles actually are, and this is going to be online within the next 3 weeks. So
Okay, so not as big of a project, but a short.
It's an 8-minute short film about why baby turtles need the sea and shouldn't be kept in a tank.
Right.
Yeah, so this is the next thing, which is actually for everyone who's out there to watch just online. I'm really looking forward for that one.
Yeah, we'll put another little plug up here for the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Maybe, I think it's already out there in the moment this is, it's live, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be there in a couple of days. Click here.
Yes.
And well, afterwards, a big project we did the last 6 months actually while editing the Manta film, bringing it to the end. We did something else. We did a 360 film, also for everyone in the end. So we got this new technique, a 360 underwater camera, which is a lot of fun and a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah. And we did that for the Tropical Marine Institute in Bremen, Germany.
Okay.
So they made a survey about what is working better, like an immersive 360 film or a normal framed film. And they took our film to around 1,000 people here in Indonesia and showed it to all different kind of people, from the school child to the normal mother in the shopping mall to the policeman who's standing at the street, to everyone, 1,000 people, and like wrote down their reaction to it. This is a really interesting project, and as the survey is done now, we're going to put that online too within the next days, and to actually show the people, well, how it really is down there without getting wet.
Now, with the 360 filming, it's not something I've even thought about. It sounds actually quite complicated. What sort of equipment are you using? How are you shooting it?
It's a lot of fun. Everyone should try it. We are using 6 GoPros. They are like in a cube, looking in each direction. So after 20 years of learning how to get everything framed in a good picture, now you see everything. You cannot hide away anymore. And the post-production triples. It is a lot of data you're shooting out there. And so you have 6 GoPros and you cannot turn them off underwater.
Okay.
So you turn them on before you go into the water, and then it's going to run through unless the battery turns off or the cards are full.
Yeah.
Most of the time the cards are full, so it's 1 hour and 6 minutes in the end, and so you come up with 6 times 32 gigabytes, so you come up with 182 gigs of just data. And what the GoPro does,
4K or Full
is,
HD?
it's the GoPro 4, because when we started with that, the GoPro 6 wasn't ready. So it's recorded on a 2.7K format in 4:3, which is really important for the stitching in the end. And but the GoPro writes another file every 4 gig.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, that's a big problem, because the software wants to have it as one long film file. So you merge it again together to another 182 gigabytes. So in the end, you end up with 384 gigabytes before you actually started doing anything.
Lots of hard drives.
Yes, 6 this time.
Yeah.
Now, can you use normal software? Like, can you use Adobe Premiere, or do you have a special program that you use to do this?
You need a special software, a special stitching software. So actually, like, the pictures are overlapping, and the software actually tries to see like, oh, that coral is the same coral in that picture and the same coral in that picture, and then it makes stitching points.
Okay.
And as corals are really complicated because they actually look almost the same everywhere.
Right, yeah.
You have to go into the software then and tell it manually, like, and that's that, and that's that, and that's that. A lot of fun.
How many hours of post-production to create a minute of it?
Okay, and now comes the funny part, right? Because we have a parallax problem there. So it's like the same thing when you take your finger and like close your eyes, right and left, it's gonna move a little like that. And the camera doesn't know what's the background or what's the foreground. Yeah, so it will try to know that's the manta ray or that's the blue in behind, and you will tell it like that's actually the manta ray we want to see there. And this parallaxing for 10 minutes needs 16 hours parallaxing on the computer.
16 hours.
16 hours. So everyone is like, flying to Indonesia takes a really long time. And it's like, nah, it's just 10 minutes of parallaxing, actually. It's like, you have to really breathe in and breathe out and take your chi into that. Like, okay, let's go for it. And for the last film we did, we used 10 dives in Raja Ampat. So I was around 2.5 months actually of just feeding the computer and setting the alarm at night, getting up, okay, next 10 minutes. And as you have like the 6 different views, you cannot tell what was good on that shot. So you actually have to parallax it and get it into this big panorama to actually know what's there. And then I wrote a book, like, okay, dive number 5, minute 10, 20, turtle. and and then you take those little snippets where you know it's good and you render them, which doesn't take that long in the end. And when you made that sphere, you can actually just take it into Premiere and edit it as a normal film and just like put the sound on or
color correction or
color
whatever.
correction and all that. And it's a pretty new media, so you can make little pop-ups in there telling the story or macro shots actually, because the GoPro just shows the whole thing, but if you see like a frogfish somewhere, you're not going to see it on the GoPro. So then Claudia is shooting it with her equipment and her macro lens, and I just like make a little pop up in the big sphere, and like that's like, look there, that's
like
there.
a picture-in-picture kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's like sound to the cinema. It's like a pretty new thing and a new experience, definitely.
It's not so much the normal editing; it's getting everything together that takes all the time. I wouldn't have the patience for that.
I wanted to say, Mike,
No.
we never do 360.
No, exactly.
It's not that. We don't have the time. We're busy with the podcast and we're busy with other things.
It really takes a lot of time, but
It
in the end,
does.
I think it's
Yeah, it
for us.
sounded
It's
like-
really worth it because the results, the outcome is just amazing.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really is mind blowing.
They look great. And we had a look at your website and they really look nice and interesting. You feel like you are there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, for doing film, you have to be a little bit crazy, so
Yeah.
that comes with a job, I would say. Yeah. But the reactions are just awesome. Yeah, I mean, the people are really like into it. You have children who try to grab the fish,
Gotcha.
or going closer to the turtle, which doesn't work.
And so the best way to actually view them is with goggles on, like virtual reality sort of things.
That is definitely the best way to get the full immersive experience. Yeah. So, and they want to make it mainstream, and within the next 2 years, there will be a lot of improvement. GoPro just brought out the GoPro Fusion, where you actually just have 2 cameras go in each direction, but that just works on land. It doesn't work underwater. So underwater, we still need the dome because the picture gets more narrow if you just take it without the domes, and so underwater is still a bigger thing. But 360 will be something in the future. Like Facebook is definitely start working with it.
Yep.
I think the Oculus Go is coming out within the next time.
They announced it recently, right?
Yeah, and it works from your phone. So if you go to YouTube, you can stream those films, and if you have the headset, which comes between $20 or you can spend $200 for it, whatever.
Oh, that's
but
not bad.
it's pretty cheap, and so you just put your phone into it. And you have to tell it like mirror the 2 pictures, and then you are in it. Yeah,
Cool.
and they had some amazing stuff. They brought a 360 camera up to the ISS spaceship, and they actually went out with the astronaut repairing whatever, and you can like look down. Yeah, and underwater is just perfect for 360 because you have 360 degrees around you. You can
exactly.
actually look down. While working with 360 stuff, I realized how boring surface is, because we just have 180 here and the rest is floor.
Yeah,
and
true.
Yeah.
You have all the dimensions.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like real diving. I mean, you put the video on, you know there's a manta. I know there's a manta ray. I could like move the heads of the people like manta ray. There's the turtle. Check that out. But if you look in the wrong direction, you're gonna miss it. Like real diving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But are you able to put like some impression saying like turn right, there is a manta there passing, like
We could, yeah. I mean, there are ways to navigate the viewer either with audio or just some titles or so. You could do that.
Points of interest.
Yeah.
But
or some
right.
pop-ups in our film about the coral reefs that is available online. We just have a narration and then let the people just look around and explore for themselves, because that's what it's about. See it almost with your own eyes.
This is what you say you shot it in Raja Ampat. Is it out already, or it's coming out? This is going to be the first main one?
Yeah, it's going to be our first main 360 5-minute movie, and it's online for everyone to see and experience, and I would definitely recommend get the headset to do it. But if not, you just go on your computer and you can look with a mouse, or you use your phone and just like watch around like that. Pretty easy. Yeah, pretty easy, and the people are really enjoying it. We had one woman, she had to take it off because she was afraid to drown because she can't swim.
Wow.
And she was like, I cannot do that.
Wow.
That's too much for me. Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny.
So it can be used to cure her.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Keep doing
Learn
it.
how to swim.
Go swimming.
Brilliant.
But most people are just amazed that just you it's always funny because they cannot see you, but you can watch them when they like we showed it to a couple of people and just were able to witness their reactions and their mouth open, just in awe, looking around. Wow. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Very fascinating technology.
Do you guys see yourselves gearing more towards 360 now, or will mainstream media still be the go-to and 360 just more on the side?
Yeah, so our main thing is still the framed film. I call it the framed film, the normal film. Yeah.
Easier to tell a story, I guess.
Easier to tell a story, and you can take the people really on a ride. But I don't want to say something, because storytelling will develop with 360. Definitely. There will be new ways of experience stories. I see new cinemas get all the seats out to put swiveling chairs in the middle, and so the people can actually turn around all the time. So there will be a development, and I also think that the big screen, so Hollywood, will take that chance over. Definitely. I think Red is working with Facebook right now on a new camera. So there is a lot of development in that direction. But it's good for certain things. It's good for like special things. Like we are going to Malta next time, to Gozo, and going into wrecks with it. So I think that's like wreck diving.
Yeah, that
definitely a thing for that.
Yeah.
And so it will make a lot of things more complicated. So we will bring like 10 lights with us, like dive the wreck before, put the light in some locations where we want it to be, and then like dive through with a 360. And afterwards we go to Iceland, something completely different.
And cold.
And really
And
cold.
cold.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And get the dry suit out. And there's the Strutan. It's like a big chimney coming up from 120 meters, going up to 20 meters. It's made by fresh water and the minerals who are aggregating around and build up that.
It's a bit like a black smoker,
Oh, okay.
shallow and
Yep.
not black.
Gotcha.
But
Clear.
it's
Like
similar
that
to
clear
that,
Iceland water. Yeah.
Cool. We've been there normal diving, and it was like the abyss was like, oh my god, what is that? And that's like definitely something also for the 360.
Okay.
So there will more to come, more to watch.
Did you have to build your own housing, shall we say?
No, there is one available by a company called Color, and they have been bought by GoPro, I think, or they've been working closely with GoPro, and they are also the ones who develop the software for the stitching.
For people that want to get into it, there is actually a relatively pain-free, well, not pain-free, but a relatively easy way to get into it.
You don't have to build it
it
yourself. You just have to invest some money.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
You can, but you still need those 16 hours
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never do that.
No.
It's like 6 kilos on land, this monster, yeah.
Okay.
But underwater it's positively buoyant. It just want to go up, so you like actually have to push it down, and yeah, it's.
And you always have to make sure that you're looking good.
Yeah.
Because you're always on the camera.
Yeah.
You're the one going, eh?
Yeah.
Some people were asking, who's that guy that's following me around all the time?
Yeah.
And I always say it's buddy system, right?
Yeah.
We stick close together.
Funny, you can say, oh, I've got a leaking hose.
Yeah.
Shoot it again.
It sees everything. There's no way to hide anything.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your next project then? You say from now is going to, what did you say? To
Gozo.
Gozo.
Gozo,
That's your
yeah.
next project from here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's going to be the next one, and we're trying to find some octopus because we would really like to make a film about them, and maybe see if Hendrik can become friend with one.
Yes.
Super intelligent and fascinating.
They
funny.
might get the octopus to play with the beard kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's gonna work. Yeah.
So that's a project we are thinking about at the moment.
Okay.
And then just some filming with the 360 there.
We have a lot of ideas, to be
That's
honest.
good.
Yeah.
You're on the road a lot then, obviously.
Yeah, the list doesn't get shorter. Actually.
No, I was going to say that's why you're always jet lagged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The jet lag.
yeah. From the polar circle to the equator.
Yeah. Yeah, and after the nice warm water here, now you got to go back to the cold water in the Med and Iceland. And,
Yeah, it's different.
Definitely.
But it's still beautiful. It's still beautiful.
definitely. Yeah, and you've still got a passion for it. You've got a good style. You've got a good mix between conservation style filming as well as other styles of filming, which is good. It's good to have a good mix.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
think it's just important to show, as we said before, the beauty, but also the need to protect it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a
And
lot.
get the people to care about it.
Exactly. Okay, so I think what we can do, we've got the trailer of the Manta film plus some of the other things. We could put that and go out on that. We'll put your links up there on the YouTube again, down on the channel there. And thank you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you guys for having us here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
If you've liked today's episode, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, subscribe to their YouTube channel as well. And thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.
There is still so much we don't know about manta rays, especially things like the movement and migration patterns and connectivity.
Manta rays are actually classified in the IUCN Red List as vulnerable to extinction.
We were going to shark fin markets to document what was being landed. And that's when we first started seeing them landing these mobile rays and mantas and cutting out their gills. We went across the border into China and it was everywhere. Sacks and sacks and sacks.
It's very obvious to me that there's already been a number of populations that have become extinct. I want to make sure that we save the ones that are still here.
Through photographs that were submitted to global databases that were compared, we got some really interesting data and some really important data for the conservation for the animals.